Ask someone who has lived in Houston throughout this decade about what they were doing the night of August 7th, 1973. Odds are they'll remember. Big 2 Newsman Jack Cato remembers. Every Houstonian felt the anger and the humiliation of that tragic night. It all started at Boats Hall in South Houston, and before the night was over, the world had learned of Elmer Wayne Henley mass murders.
Mama, it's Wayne. Mama, I killed Dean.
Elmer Wayne Henley talked to a group of us for about 2 talk if we wouldn't take his picture. He didn't mind telling what happened. And then he stopped abruptly and said, I want to use a phone. I want to call my mother. There wasn't any phone at the boat shed around any place, so I offered him the mobile phone that was in the news car. And he called his mother. It got almost to be routine, but probably the biggest search was at High Island. It was mechanized. There was a bulldozer to scrape off the sand. There were sheriffs from 2 counties there, and probably 40 or 50 news people and 100 to 150 spectators looking to see what they would find. And they found it. Elmer Wayne Henley and Brooks were both there. They kept trying to decide where the locations were, and they were pretty accurate. It didn't take them too long to say that we parked the car over there on the road and we drug the bodies over to here and we laid them out here. With a little bulldozing and a little digging, they were able to find what was there. For the people like myself that had covered it from the start, after the first 8 or 10 bodies were dug up in a boat shed, it became, unreal to think that there could be any more. But it continued on High Island, where the only thought at that time was, well, will it reach a record number? Will it be the most ever in this country? And when it did, everybody, they didn't feel a great exultation, but they felt it was over once they got to that point. The justices of the peace that were at High Island were very businesslike. The sheriff took everything in command, and even though there were probably 150 people there around it, it really didn't have what some people described as a circus-like atmosphere. It really wasn't that way at all. Everyone was serious as to what they were, and surprisingly, there were very few sightseers. As the victims were found and Dr. Jehemczak was able to make positive identifications, there were funerals. Most of them were from out of town, but one of them was a local boy. And, well, several of them were local, but one of them exceptionally. A fellow that worked at the Post, his son was missing. We went to the funeral, and it sort of set the whole mood for the way people felt about what had happened.
A 17-year-old boy, just 17 years of age. No one would have ever thought that a 17-year-old boy could have done the things that this 17-year-old boy did.
Less than a year afterwards, Elmer Wayne Henley was given 6 99-year sentences for his part in the sex torture ring. David Brooks was given a life sentence in 1975 by a Houston court. After the sensational murder case in San Antonio of Elmer Wayne Henley, it was overturned by an appeals judge. That last summer was confirmed. The 6 99-year sentences still stand. In Dr. Jehemczak's basement at the county morgue, there are still remains of some of the 27 victims who have never been identified.